stabilizing inner peace through progress. Progress brings inner peace. Progress is measured both internally and externally. External progress is the hard measure that marks full success. Energy healing structures the foundation that underlies material success. The direction of external progress has to be dictated by one's highest wisdom, by the eternal source of creation. This way, your infinite potential has a chance to manifest. Unless the individual self and the eternal self are in perfect alignment, efforts based on individual vision will be inefficient at best and a total waste at worst. The aim is for your highest divine intelligence to dictate the direction of change and provide the resources to facilitate it. As an individual, the aim is to allow. It is to self-position so that the highest outcome can manifest. Clearing habits for yourself, for ancestors, and for past lives, of engaging personal resources without referring to wholeness first. Under this, clearing anxiety about the future and fear of things not working out well from the abdomen through the heart center. Clearing impressions and memory patterns from the astral through the mental body of failure, tragedy, and problems never resolved. Under this, clearing deep grief. Under the deep grief, there is an aspect of ego that is healing. For the ego, clearing more anxiety regarding finding solutions under time pressure or intensity. There are two reasons why you might not have success in the relative. 1, your intentions might not be aligned with nature's intention for unfolding your highest potential. Or 2, it could be that your desire is aligned with nature's intentions, but nature brings external resistance to leverage your desire as a means of personal growth. In either case, the action step is the same. Take recourse to the source of creation to garner more support for optimal evolution. From the perspective of totality, you will know in an instant if your personal desires align with your purest, highest potential or not. You will also get used to accessing infinite resources directly from being for maximum success. There is another important point here. Your consciousness is an expression of absolute consciousness. Your personal desires are an expression of nature's grand plan for the universe. No matter how small or limited individual desire may be, it originated with the source of creation and is therefore blessed. This divine origin endows it with a grace that opens the door for its manifestation. This happens even for people whose intentions bring suffering to others. In such a case, suffering has the potential to become the instrument of progress. Whether it becomes the instrument of progress or not is up to the one who suffers. Your existence is so precious that you deserve to be blessed even when you make mistakes, even if your actions happen to bring suffering to others. No one in this healing session would ever intentionally cause another to suffer. However, nature creates little loops of personal interactions that can inadvertently or unintentionally result in some stress. Remember, stress is defined as anything that has an overwhelming effect on the nervous system. What overwhelms one person might underwhelm another. As individuals, we cannot be responsible for the responses of another person to our actions. What is really important is your intention. Over that, you always have exquisite control. Intention underlies the way that your actions influence you. Intention is guided by conscience. Here you are receiving the universal template for optimized conscience. Never overbearing or overwhelming, but ever present and honored above thought and feeling. Dharma anchors conscience to both the material world and to the source of creation. Dharma is like a channel through which universal intention is upheld all the way from the source of creation to the full material expression. One could argue that individual desires are blessed because they come from the source of creation, even if they are incomplete expressions of your potential. However, a lack of universal support for a desire is a good sign that something bigger and better is in store for you. When universal support is not present for a particular desire, then flexibility is required. Taking recourse to the transcendental field of consciousness requires letting go. It requires flexibility. It requires letting go of attachments. This is not the easiest thing to do. However, in the long run, it is absolutely the most fulfilling. Compassion and flexibility together are forming a light medicine that washes the 4 dense levels of the physiology. The mental and emotional bodies especially benefit from the ability to let go and return to the home of fullness. Whatever feels as if it's lacking in the material field is fulfilled in the heart and mind when awareness takes recourse to divine being. Even if the nervous system is not flexible and stable enough at this time to maintain this experience ongoing, even a drop is enough to satisfy to the core of the soul. Working with the 4 dense levels of the body, where the inner foundation meets external improvements. Flexibility in the dense levels of the body help a person adapt to improved circumstances, eliminate life-damaging habits, and restructure themselves for the better. This is something that doesn't happen by itself. You have to want it enough to invest some personal energy in these changes. It is the harder and more rewarding path. Looking at the intelligence of the nervous system, this essential form of your consciousness is diving into the ocean of being. Again and again, it is washed in the eternal waters of the spring of the universe. This washing cultivates the stability and adaptability required to remain ever close to that source. For the time being, personal desires come to rest in the home of absolute fulfillment. A shift in priorities is occurring that supports choices that are not always easy, but always rewarding. This little shift, from comfort first to evolution first, makes all the difference in the grace by which you navigate this life. Grace flows in ever-mounting waves of blessing. Always the resources required to meet challenges are present along with the challenge. This balance is the manifestation of wholeness. Ultimately, there is nothing else that manifests. Opening perception to recognize the gift of universal resources. It is the refinement of the nervous system from today's healing that facilitates your ability to engage those resources most effectively. Thank you for being with me.